When British couple Matt Topham and Cassey Carrington won the lottery in 2012, they couldn't believe their good fortune. They received more than £45 million, almost $64 million, which was more than enough to set them up for life. For Matt, a house painter, and Cassey, who worked retail, winning the lottery wasn't something they ever thought would happen to them. They were content enough living in their shared flat in Nottingham. The first thing they did with their winnings was buy a 7-bedroom mansion for about $1.6 million. For many, this palatial estate would be a dream come true, but for Matt and Cassey, it was only the beginning of a nightmare. The couple didn't move into the mansion as soon as they bought the place, however. Instead, they planned to renovate and customize it to their preferences. It was a project that was slated to cost them over $6 million. Matt and Cassey called the mansion Serenity, and renderings, like the one pictured, revealed just how much work needed to be done to the existing property to make it their dream home. They even had lofty goals of building a 10-car garage and adding a second housing area to the property. While their plans were certainly big, there was no reason to think that they couldn't accomplish them, especially with their newly acquired millions. However, their renovations came to a complete standstill. Having so much money at the ready was a new experience for the young couple. As soon as they had access to their winnings, they bought another home for some of their close friends and celebrated with them too. They also indulged in several luxurious vacations with family and friends to places like Spain and New York. However, they weren't just spending their money on frivolities. They had real-life plans in the works. Now, with their new fortune, the pair could finally afford to tie the knot and have that wedding they'd always dreamed about. 2 years later they welcomed their first child. While Matt and Cassey were celebrating their new lives together, their dream mansion was left neglected. Trespassers constantly broke into it too, knowing it was vacant. The police made frequent trips to the property to keep vandals at bay. The mansion, originally built in the 1930s and known as the Rainbow House, was once a source of pride in the area. After Matt and Cassey purchased it, however, it became an eyesore and a danger to the community. Neighbors regularly complained about the unkempt landscaping and the ever-growing collection of graffiti. Vandals weren't the only problematic guests who were attracted to the abandoned property either. Smashed toilets revealed open drains where rats and other vermin ran rampant, causing serious health concerns. Understandably, people in the area were livid at the Tophams for allowing this to go on. The Tophams have shed loads of money and should be spending some to end this farce, or at least on security, one neighbor said. Matt and Cassey were not under any financial strain, so this should have been a no-brainer, right? There is also an empty swimming pool, which is a real danger too. I'm surprised no one has been seriously hurt in there, said another neighbor. On top of that, trespassers used the house as a place to do drugs. And it got even worse. Teens in the area christened the property as the scariest place to take a selfie in all of Nottingham, which only increased the rate of trespassers and the potential for injuries on site. Local officials put in a request to Matt and Cassey asking that they demolish the entire property before the problem continued to escalate. Matt and Cassey were heartbroken to learn that they would never get to transform the original property into the mansion of their dreams. They agreed that the house needed to be torn down, and they presented updated plans for the property to the local council. While demolishing the Rainbow House would be a tough blow for the married couple, it doesn't mean that their dreams of living the luxurious life were over. They still own the land, and they plan to build a new home on the site. After all, this was an area that was known for its beautiful old houses. In fact, it was mere steps away from Willayton Hall, which was used as Wayne Manor in the 2012 film The Dark Knight Rises. Matt and Cassey planned to break ground as soon as the council approved of the new plans for their home. This time, they said they would keep a watchful eye on their property every step of the way. Fingers crossed that they do. While Matt and Cassey definitely gained some unwanted publicity thanks to the sorry state of their dream home, they aren't hurting financially. They've been very good about managing their money, good enough that they can afford to hire a project manager this go round. Share this story with your friends below.